Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year. Jeffrey Bartle here, and today's New Year's Eve. We're about to get... Excuse me. Sorry. We're about to be going over the new year. Well, you know, the official countdown and all. But in the meantime, I thought we'd go over past years. Like 2016, 2017, 2000, and to this year. So, but let's talk first before we do that. Yeah, I'm wearing a brace, so that's something new. Then I sprained it. Now my it's hurting me. I don't know why. But I did. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But it's been a good year. But I think it's been an average year for the Democrats gain control of the House. Nah. Just goes to show, lying can only get you so far, but eventually, no matter how hard you try to bury the truth, it'll eventually sprout out and spread like wildfire. Sometimes sometimes I make myself laugh. I come up with good quotes, but sometimes I know they come up with good quotes. Anyway, let's say I'm gonna take a nap while we. Okay. Who thought I was sleeping? So, what's your New Year's resolution? I'm trying to get. This is probably mine. I'm trying to get back into gaming. Right there. And I'm gonna see if I can try and work out a bit more. But that's just a start. We'll see if I can. We'll see if there's any more. See, gaming. I got a lot. It was a good Christmas. You know what I mean? How was your Christmas? Leave it down in the comments. Tell me what you think. So, out of the entire year, what was your favorite moment and why? Oh yeah. Before we begin, going over the years, let's have a moment of silence for all those lost who are no longer with us today. One of them being my aunt who just passed away on December 27th. All right. Is that enough time? Let's get started. Before we see about the new year, let's go over the past years. We'll do it this way. Bad news, then good news. Hang on. They want you to see me put in the code. Right now I gotta reload it. Hang on. Hold on, people. Maybe. Okay, here we go.
That happened over the past year. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horrible things.
Let's start over again. We'll start with 2016. Here's the bad thing about 2016. Courtesy of WatchMojo.com. The top 10 reasons 2016 was the worst. So be sure to get that.
Nothing brightens your day quite like reviewing all the awful things that happened over the past year. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horrible things about 2016.
Lane standing in ankle-deep water when the 5 to 7 foot alligator emerged and attacked him.
For this list, we're looking at the events, milestones, and tragedies that went into making 2016 the worst year in recent memory.
With temperatures dropping and fears of more quakes rising, it's going to be a long and tense winter.
Number 10, Brexit.
What on earth is going to happen to Britain?
This catchy portmanteau refers to the United Kingdom's decision to leave the European Union, a decision reached in the summer of 2016. A referendum was held to determine whether or not to remain within the EU, with 52% of citizens voting in favor of a Brexit.
I think it's a good thing. The country's going to get a chance to stand on its own two feet, see what we can do on its own without everyone else's help.
Hardly a black and white decision. The UK's withdrawal will take years to finalize, with many estimating that a full withdrawal won't occur until March of 2019.
The British people have voted to leave the European Union,
That's in 3 months.
and their will must be respected.
With the British pound already taking a serious hit, many pundits have started to express concern over the future of the United Kingdom, with uncertainty arising around the future of European trade policy, as well as the place of the UK and the EU in the eyes of the world.
The will of the British people is an instruction that must be delivered.
Number 9. Earthquakes in Italy. On August 24, 2016, a 6.2 magnitude earthquake rocked central Italy in what was one of the worst natural disasters of the year. The massive quake killed 299 people and left 4,500 others without homes. While the epicenter of this catastrophe was near the small municipality of Accumoli, aftershocks were felt as far off as Rome, Florence, and Bologna, hundreds of miles away. Controversy surrounding the disaster quickly emerged, as inspections of various collapsed buildings determined they had not been built in accordance with the anti-seismic law of 1974. And, as if one earthquake wasn't bad enough, another series of quakes shook central Italy in October of that same year, all measuring higher than 5.5 on the Richter scale and rendering 100,000 people homeless. Number 8. The Fort McMurray wildfire. As the flames began to spread across northern Alberta, few could have predicted the destruction they would eventually cause. Beginning on the evening of May 1st, 2016, a state of emergency was issued for the areas around Fort McMurray, an urban service area known for its oil production. Within days, the wildfire had spread across more than 210,000 acres, forcing thousands to evacuate their homes.
Lord, keep us safe. Get us out of Fort McMurray in one piece.
The fire was finally declared under control on July 5th, 65 days after the first warnings were issued. The most expensive disaster in Canadian history, with damage estimates coming close to $3.58 billion. It remains a miracle that there were no direct fatalities connected to the blaze.
So my biggest concern right now is really figuring out what we do next.
Number 7, the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting.
Oh my God, they're all shooting back and forth.
An innocent night out turned deadly when 29-year-old Omar Mateen murdered 49 people and injured 53 others at a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida on June 12, 2016. The situation ended after local police breached the interior of the club 3 hours after the shooting began, killing Mateen and rescuing several hostages. Though Mateen pledged allegiance to ISIL in a 911 call, this incident is considered both a terrorist attack and a hate crime, carrying the infamous distinction of being the worst attack on American soil since 9/11 and the deadliest mass shooting perpetrated by a single person in U.S. history.
There are more than a list of names. There are people who loved and were loved. There are people with families and friends and dreams.
In November 2016, the city of Orlando revealed their intention to purchase the club for $2.25 million, with plans to turn it into a memorial. Number 6, Zika. Not even mosquitoes could be trusted in 2016. The antagonists behind the 2015-16 Zika outbreak in the Americas, mosquitoes spread disease by biting the exposed skin of unsuspecting individuals. While those infected with Zika will often have mild to no symptoms, it mustn't be underestimated. Pregnant women who contract the disease can pass it to their children, causing serious birth defects. While Zika vaccines were finally being tested on humans by the end of 2016, none had yet been confirmed as an effective prevention method. So, avoiding mosquito bites is still the best way to avoid infection. However, if you think you're safe because you live in a mosquito-free environment, beware. The Zika virus can be passed from one person to another through unprotected sex.
So I think you have to worry, but keep calm and just try to live with it.
Number 5, police-involved shootings of civilians.
I said indict! Convict! Send that killer cop to jail!
2016 was yet another year in which hundreds of civilians, primarily in the U.S., were shot and killed by police officers.
Then he turns around, faces the officer, and puts his hands up, and the officer continues to shoot him until he goes down to the ground.
While these types of incidents have occurred for decades, the fatal police shootings of Michael Brown and John Crawford III in 2014 sparked outrage, protests, riots, and the Black Lives Matter movement. The world watched as video footage of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile's police-involved deaths in July 2016 went viral, for example. As debates on how to properly address the issue continue, uncertain feelings towards local law enforcement increase. Suggestions on how to tackle the issue have included mandating officers to wear body cameras. However, this has not prevented almost 900 people from being killed in 2016, according to the Washington Post. Number 4, ISIS. ISIS, which stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, is a terrorist organization responsible for war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and various terror attacks across the globe. The main goal of the group is to form a Sunni Islamic State, one led by a supreme leader. While the group has been around since 1999, it's their actions in recent years that have caused panic, outrage, and fear in the hearts and minds of people the world over. In 2016 alone, ISIS has been responsible for thousands of deaths, from bombings in Istanbul, Brussels, Nice, and Kabul, to a knife attack in a Minnesota mall, and many more incidents. This organization perpetrated crimes in dozens of countries in 2016.
The first one they said was a suicide car bomb, and it exploded on the vehicles that are just behind us. There are a number of soldiers just running in the street.
Number 3, the European migrant crisis continues.
The Italian government said that without more help from the EU,
It could no longer afford to fund it. Between January 2015 and March 2016, over 1 million people journeyed across the Mediterranean Sea from countries like Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan in order to escape the various wars and persecutions occurring there. While many have crossed the sea with relative safety, others have not been so lucky. In 2015, almost 4,000 people died while attempting the trip. The majority of the migrants hail from Syria, with many seeking asylum from their country's civil war, one that's already claimed the lives of approximately 400,000 people, according to the United Nations and Arab League envoy to Syria. Many European countries like Germany have graciously opened their borders to the incoming refugees, but as their citizens openly criticize the EU's management of the situation, the crisis continues.
Many of the German people are afraid what will happen with us in Germany.
Number 2, the U.S. presidential election campaign.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
If you feel like you've been watching coverage of this presidential election for years, you wouldn't exactly be wrong. Ted Cruz announced his candidacy for the Republican Party nomination on March 23, 2015, a whopping 596 days before Election Day.
Today, I am announcing that I'm running for President of the United States.
The race to become the 45th Commander-in-Chief had many wondering when and if it would ever end, with the eventual battle between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton becoming a heated one, littered with bizarre moments from both parties, with one candidate under investigation by the FBI, and the other making controversial comments that attracted massive media attention.
I would bring back waterboarding, and I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding.
The protests, riots, and other incidents that ultimately followed Trump's election on November 8th highlighted how divided the United States really are. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
Well, there's no question it was a lenient sentence. He was facing up to 14 years. Prosecutors asked for 6 years. He had asked for 4 months. The judge gave him 6 months.
Police used pepper spray and rubber bullets to disperse them.
My youngest would tell me, Mom, it's yellow and it's a filmy, gross, foamy thing, and it would smell like open sewer. But we were being told we're still getting used to the new system. It's safe, it's okay.
Number 1, all the celebrity deaths. With each passing year, the world bids farewell to many of its most beloved celebrities. Yet in 2016, the list of those lost carries a weight that feels somewhat disproportionate in relation to other years.
This is ground control to Major Tom.
Beginning with the passing of iconic glam rocker David Bowie in January, the year has at times felt like one never-ending funeral, with other well-known celebrities like Alan Rickman, Muhammad Ali, and Prince passing away in the ensuing months. Some, like 22-year-old singer Christina Grimmie, died under tragic circumstances. While others, like Leonard Cohen, passed away peacefully at the age of 82. What's more, we also lost several influential journalists and politicians in 2016, making the year that much tougher to face.
It's been a very bumpy and satisfying road.
That's exactly right.
Many of the well-known faces lost in 2016 were giants in their field, and they will not soon be forgotten.
Would you like to see?
Yeah.
Your faith was strong, but you needed proof.
If we're all going to be so happy, how can your eyes look like they're going to cry?
Because grown-ups are silly. Sometimes they cry when they're happy.
I was worried that I maybe was too subtle.
Yeah, that's your problem. Too subtle.
I'm on the couch. I'm really getting into it. And she comes into the room.
I'm sorry, sir. Is this going to take long? Because I was hoping to buy some slacks this afternoon.
my stance, John.
There's a big, wonderful world out there for you. It belongs to you. It's exciting and stimulating.
That's how we call him a miracle, man.
And I don't have to convince nobody now that I am great. They all know it because they're paying $250 for a seat.
Into the
Gets up the house. He shoots, he scores!
Fernandez, left field. It's deep. It is gone.
Forever and ever. Oh, we gonna be heroes. The Intercontinental Champion.
Russian whiskey. What's your name, Chenko? Sherpov?
Ensign Chekhov, Pavel Andreevich.
Is this what life is out here?
It's a trap.
Always.
They will be missed.
No one understood what's going.
So thank you, Watch Mojo. So better thank Watch Mojo about that. Do you agree with their list? If you don't, then you can actually you can still tell them that, not me, because it's their video. Next up is so now let's get to the good news of 2016. And this is one of my favorite videos. And this is one of my favorites as it's liked, as you can see. So, let's get to it. This video is provided by Google. Year in search 2016. Let's get to it.
No one understood what's going on. People were running everywhere.
The uncertainty of Brexit. We don't know what's going to happen.
We are a more divided nation than we've ever been.
And that officer that was next to us, he ran toward the shop.
People start screaming. Everybody gets on the floor.
It's completely tragedy and misery in Syria.
Let's go out and do something we'd never do.
Love does not despair.
Cause I feel like I can do
Love gives us hope that change is possible.
My head is spinning and my feet off the ground when I can't stop dancing like no one's around. And yet I think we were born to shine. The stars are down when I can't.
If you take away the labels, you realize that we're far more alike than we are different.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
We don't have to try. There's a bright and fireflies are gonna light the sky.
And love is 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 love. Cannot be killed or swept aside. Now fill the world with music, love, and pride.
Light the sky.
What is out there? Search on Google. That was pretty good, wasn't it? It was a pretty good video. It's one of the reasons I like it. And also after the Orlando nightclub shootings, I created the slogan: I may be straight, but I support gay rights. Now let's move on to 2017. But before we do, who thinks Trump should have been banned from politics? Raise your hand. Or leave it in the comments. Anyway, let's get to 2017. First, the bad news. Another video provided by Watch Mojo. Top 10 reasons why 2017 was the worst.
And you thought 2016 was bad. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 reasons why 2017 was the worst. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at the events, trends, and tragedies that made 2017 an especially difficult year for us all to get through.
Stupid commercials.
Number 10. For more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at the events, trends, and tragedies that made 2017 an especially difficult year for us all to get through. Number 10. Questionable celebrity role models.
It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow.
Thanks to the internet, anyone can get famous. And sometimes it's for all the wrong reasons. Case in point, It's Everyday Bro became the 4th most disliked video in YouTube history. But creator Jake Paul still accumulated over 11 million followers.
And I just dropped some new merch, and it's selling like a god church.
Danielle Bregoli, also known as Bad Baby, is perhaps an even more infamous social media personality. This rapper/car thief initially gained attention at age 13 during a 2016 Dr. Phil segment, where she challenged the audience to a fight and spawned a notorious catchphrase.
Catch me outside, how about that? Catch me outside, how about that?
Bregoli became a viral sensation over the following year, inspiring countless memes and even signing a record deal.
These hoes be fake ballin', tax money that you won't last.
Questionable celebrity role models like these epitomize the moral decay of society, bringing the bar to a new low.
Agreed.
Number 9, the Robert Mueller probe. We guess you could say that President Donald Trump is the elephant in the room here, and not just because he's a Republican. Trump's presidential victory proved to be a controversial one, especially given the allegations that Russian President Vladimir Putin directly ordered an influence campaign against Hillary Clinton. The plot only thickened when President Trump fired FBI Director James Comey during an investigation of Russia's interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. In May 2017, former FBI Director Robert Mueller was tasked with leading a special counsel investigation concerning this conspiracy. No matter what the final outcome of this probe is, the fact that it's taking place at all demonstrates that we live in truly uncertain, shady times. Number 8, the immigration ban. Although that wall he promised is still a work in progress, President Donald Trump wasted no time signing Executive Order 13769 shortly after his inauguration. Commonly called the travel ban or the Muslim ban, it prevented citizens of Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen from entering the U.S. for 3 months, and suspended the U.S. refugee admissions program for 4 months. On top of that, over 700 travelers were detained, while roughly 60,000 visas got, quote, provisionally revoked. This was later replaced with Executive Order 13780, which President Trump described as a, quote, watered-down, politically correct version. These newer travel restrictions were still far from ideal, however, as many argued that making immigration harder for foreigners didn't make America any safer. Number 7, fentanyl overdoses. Whenever recreational drugs come up in conversation, fentanyl hasn't always been the first opioid that comes to mind. However, it's estimated that this painkiller is nearly 50 times more powerful than heroin, and almost 100 times stronger than morphine.
And then this vial would be the typical dose of fentanyl. What would be considered? Correct.
Musical legend Prince was just one of the thousands of Americans that died because of fentanyl in 2016, and the epidemic caused even more heartbreak throughout 2017. Across the border, between January and April, fentanyl amounted to 368 overdose deaths in British Columbia, Canada alone. In fact, it's been reported that fentanyl-related deaths have skyrocketed 540% within the past 3 years. The war on drugs is like a bonfire that seemingly can't be extinguished, and fentanyl has only fanned the flames of tragedy. Number 6, the North Korean...
Let me stop it right there and say something. The war on drugs part, yeah, it was caused because of the Cold War. And it was a mistake we made. Maybe because of the so-called, trying to get ahead of the Soviets and Union and all that junk. The Cold War created the war on drugs, and now result in the war on drugs, and now we have to do something about that. And as for Trump, I wouldn't support him even if he was a Democrat. If he was that, bad. Anyway, if he was that kind of a person, I wouldn't support him. It shouldn't matter what party they are. What matters is who they are on the inside. Let's get back to it.
The war on drugs is like a bonfire that seemingly can't be extinguished, and fentanyl has only fanned the flames of tragedy. Number 6, the North Korean nuclear test. North Korea not only administered multiple missile tests throughout 2017, the country also commenced its 6th nuclear test in September. According to seismic readings, this might have been North Korea's strongest nuclear test yet, as it caused an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.3. While the idea of impending nuclear warfare is horrifying, what could be considered even more troubling is that the leaders in charge seem to be treating this serious issue like a petty schoolyard feud. Following President Trump's fire and fury warning,
they will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Kim Jong-un threatened to, quote, tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard. Trump fired back by calling the North Korean leader, quote, little rocket man.
Rocket Man should have been handled a long time ago.
Both talk big, but how long until somebody drops a literal bombshell? Number 5, mass shootings in the United States. It seemed like nowhere was safe in 2017, with hospitals, libraries, baseball games, airports, nightclubs, and more serving as the settings for mass shootings throughout the year. The Sutherland Springs church shooting resulted in 26 deaths and 20 injuries.
As a state, we are dealing with the largest mass shooting in our state's history.
However, the shooting that left the most significant impact occurred on the Las Vegas Strip in October. During the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival, Nevada resident Stephen Paddock armed himself with semi-automatic rifles and opened fire from a room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Paddock killed 59 people, himself included, and left 546 injured. As of 2017, this is the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, and we can only hope nothing ever comes close to surpassing it.
Of course, we pray for the victims and for their families and friends, and we wonder why, even though there's probably no way to ever know why a human being would do something like this.
Number 4, tragedy struck the UK. Although it was a rough year for the United States, the United Kingdom endured just as much turmoil, if not more. The city of London and its environs were bombarded with tragedy after tragedy, as 5 innocent souls were killed in the Westminster attack. The London Bridge attack claimed 8 victims. 1 pedestrian died during the Finsbury Park attack, and the Parsons Green bombing left 30 injured. Of course, the terror attack that appeared to make the most headlines was the Manchester Arena bombing, which took place following an Ariana Grande concert. In addition to the bomber, Salman Ramadan Abidi, 22 people died in this attack, while 512 were injured. Compared to these catastrophes, Brexit almost feels like an afterthought. Number 3, deadly natural disasters. Hurricanes were to 2017 what celebrity deaths were to 2016. Whenever one was reported, another seemed to pop up almost immediately after. Between Harvey, Irma, Maria, and various others, the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season resulted in 464 fatalities and well over $300 billion in damages, making it the priciest tropical cyclone season ever reported. Hurricanes weren't the only natural disasters that took a heavy toll on the planet, however. Ironically taking place on the anniversary of the 1985 Mexico City earthquake, and less than 2 weeks after the deadly Chiapas earthquake, the central Mexico earthquake left at least 40 buildings destroyed, 370 dead, and over 6,000 injured. Are we any closer to creating that climate-changing satellite system from Geostorm? Number 2, sexual assault scandals. Sexual misconduct has been discussed at great length over the past few years, but many people fail to realize just how widespread the issue really was until 2017. It was eye-opening when more than 80 women accused film producer Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment and assault, as well as rape in some cases. This scandal set off the quote-unquote Weinstein effect, as several other high-profile celebrities were accused of sexual misconduct, including Kevin Spacey and Louis C.K. These devastating stories weren't limited to the entertainment industry either. As the Me Too hashtag spread across social media like wildfire, it became clear that we all likely know at least one individual who's faced such abuse. Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are.
There was a United Airlines flight in Chicago that was overbooked, and to make room for people, they forcibly removed one of the passengers. Did y'all hear about this? Yeah, it's crazy. They charged him a $50 removal fee. That's not true. That's not true.
At its heart, it is the principle that internet service providers, or ISPs like these guys, should not be able to engage in any sort of that limits or manipulates the choices you make online.
#1, racism. No matter how horrible things get, we still tell ourselves that society has come a long way. 2017 felt like a huge step backwards, however, as the US and in fact the entire world grew increasingly divided by racial tensions. Some responded to racial inequality and police brutality through peaceful protests, like kneeling during the national anthem. Meanwhile, the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, marked one of the ugliest hours in modern US history, bringing together white supremacists, neo-Nazis, Klansmen, and other hate groups. This far-right rally quickly turned violent, leaving 3 dead and dozens injured. According to a Quinnipiac University national poll, 65% of voters say hatred and prejudice have increased since President Trump's election. Considering his response to events like Charlottesville, that's not that shocking.
I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.
I don't want to say the word in case in case there are children watching this. How many do you count involving Trump? I'll let you be the judge of that. All right, now for the good news in 2017, I think. Now this is provided by Google. Google Year in Search 2017.
To the families and friends of the victims, know that we'll do everything we can. We are Vegas strong.
No matter what we're going through, we still have to push forward.
Are you ready to shake up the world?
It takes an act of love to realize we are all in this together.
Look at that! It's emotional. I can't explain why, but it is.
I'm asking that you guys join and mobilize with me.
I will say it right now out loud. Me too. Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Put your hand back on, bro. You gonna shake it, bro. The things that make us different, those are our superpowers. Go out there and conquer the world. Because the world would not be as beautiful as it is if we weren't in it.
Google 2017. Now that's interesting, isn't it?
I remember one year we did with
Okay, now we're into this year, 2018. Now we're gonna start with the bad news. We're gonna start with the bad news first. And just a heads up, I haven't seen this video before. So So, don't mind any reactions, okay? Okay. Okay, now. Ooh. Let's get started.
So,
Bad
what do you
news.
think? Was this a terrible year or what? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 reasons why 2018 was the worst. 2018 has been an absolute roller coaster of a year.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Click the link below to find our best and worst of 2018 videos for a look back at all the awesome and crazy things that happened. For this list, we're taking a look at the events, trends, and tragedies that made 2018 an especially difficult year for us all to get through.
The visionary behind Marvel Comics lived a life almost as incredible as the characters he created.
Number 10, crumbling infrastructure. On March 15th, a 175-foot-long section of the pedestrian bridge in front of the Florida International University collapsed onto U.S. Route 41, crushing 8 vehicles and killing 6 people, as well as injuring a further 9. A study concluded that the engineers had overestimated the strength of the bridge and underestimated the load volume. Sadly, 5 months later, a large section of Genoa's Morandi Bridge suddenly collapsed when the southern stays gave out, plunging dozens of vehicles to the ground and river below, and killing 43 people. Hey, guys, it's 2018. You'd think we'd have this whole infrastructure thing down by now. Number 9, Brett Kavanaugh's divisive confirmation. In July 2018, President Donald Trump nominated Judge Brett Kavanaugh to fill the vacant seat on the Supreme Court. This news prompted psychology professor Christine Blasey Ford to come forward with allegations that Kavanaugh had sexually assaulted her when the two were teens. 2 more women eventually volunteered similar stories about Kavanaugh, forcing the Senate Judiciary Committee to address the claims during the confirmation process. In a highly publicized national event, both Kavanaugh and Blasey Ford were questioned at length at the confirmation hearing.
What I don't like
Sometimes I had too many beers.
How the GOP
Sometimes
rushed
others
instead of
did.
giving
I liked
time.
beer.
Like
I still like beer.
But in the end, Kavanaugh was confirmed by a narrow margin, further dividing an already politically polarized nation. Number 8, Trump tariffs. Accusing China of unfair trade practices and the theft of intellectual property, the Trump administration initiated a trade war against the economic powerhouse in July. China retaliated with tariffs of their own, and the U.S. responded in kind, while also broadening the fight with tariffs on the EU, Mexico, and Canada. The results have so far included losses in the U.S. and Chinese stock market, and grim forecasts for trade, especially in agricultural and manufacturing industries. Number 7, the Jamal Khashoggi case. The murder of Saudi journalist and dissident Jamal Khashoggi in a Saudi Arabian consulate shocked the world. Khashoggi was a vocal critic of Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and a CIA investigation has reportedly implicated the prince in the killing. Countries around the world condemned the action, although President Trump downplayed the possibility of bin Salman's involvement, citing the importance of oil and arms deals with Saudi Arabia, and praising the prince as, quote, a strong person who, quote, loves his country.
But they go to China, they go to Russia, and they don't have great equipment like we do.
Number 6, the alt-right. According to the Anti-Defamation League, in 2017, most of the extremist violence in the U.S. was related to this group, and that trend continued in 2018. Although the group showing at Washington's Unite the Right 2 rally on August 12th attracted more counter-protesters than supporters, the alt-right has not disappeared. On August 27th, white nationalist and anti-Semite Robert Bowers killed 11 people at a Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh. The alt-right also entered the political arena in 2018, with several white nationalists and neo-Nazis running as Republicans, including Arthur Jones, Paul Nehlen, Russell Walker, and Patrick Little. Number 5, the Humboldt Broncos bus crash. On April 6th, A coach bus in Saskatchewan, Canada, carrying players from the junior hockey team, the Humboldt Broncos, crashed into a semi that had run a stop sign at 60 miles per hour. The collision killed 16 people and injured another 13, leading to national mourning and countless tributes.
We got a lot of work ahead of us to console and to work together to support each other.
A GoFundMe campaign launched with the intention of helping the affected families raised over $15 million, making it the second most successful campaign in GoFundMe history. The truck driver, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu, was charged with 16 counts of dangerous driving causing death. And the trucking company owner, Sukinder Singh, was charged with violating safety regulations.
His intention wasn't to go out and hurt us that day, but, mistake, obviously, is going to change his life and change all of our lives.
Number 4, dangerous mail. In October, Florida resident Cesar Sayoc Jr. mailed 16 pipe bombs to various critics of President Donald Trump, including former President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Robert De Niro, and CNN. Luckily, none of them exploded, and no one was hurt. Sayoc was charged with 5 federal crimes and faces 48 years in prison. After his arrest, Sayoc's far-right agenda came to light, with his social media feeds full of white supremacist, anti-gay, pro-Trump leanings. The president attributed, quote, the anger we see today in our society to the mainstream media, and lamented that coverage of the attempted bombings had slowed Republican, quote, momentum in the midterms. Number 3, no peace in schools. There were 36 reported school shootings in 2018, up from 11 the previous year. Those 36 shootings combined for 43 deaths and 82 injuries, with the worst shootings taking place at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and Santa Fe High School. President Trump's proposed solution to this ongoing violence was to arm school faculty, and as of May, 14 states had introduced legislation.
And this would only be obviously for people that are very adept at handling a gun.
In March, Florida Governor Rick Scott signed Senate Bill 7026, which called for tighter gun control, but also allowed for the arming of school faculty.
And I believe that's the sheriff that lost his life. And I want to say I'm so sorry for his family. He was a brave man to come into those shots because it was a scary situation for everyone. It really was.
Number 2, border agents and migrants clash. In April, the Trump administration's zero-tolerance family separation policy saw migrant children taken from their parents until it was suspended in response to public opposition. But immigration became the focus again in the lead-up to the midterm elections, when President Trump sent troops to the border to meet a migrant caravan. Tensions came to a head on November 25th, when border agents fired tear gas after migrants rushed barriers. Tear gas has been used at the border since 2010, but critics called its use on a desperate group with small children overkill. In one of the more surreal moments of 2018, the president at first denied that children had been gassed, despite plenty of photos. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
And those trips to the emergency room now more likely as teenagers join in the Tide Pod Challenge, biting Tide Pods and recording it, like in this video.
Darn it. This is why I hate those people.
Number 1, climate change is nearly irreversible. It's been a bad year for natural disasters. A major earthquake and tsunami hit Sulawesi. Guatemala experienced its deadliest volcanic eruption since 1929. Numerous hurricanes and typhoons made landfall, and California was on fire. Some of these might be attributable to climate change, which experts have declared is, quote, nearly irreversible. The 2018 Emissions Gap Report calls our curbing efforts insufficient and says we're nowhere near the goals outlined in the Paris Agreement. The Trump administration's climate assessment came to similar conclusions, but the administration dismissed the report.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Do you eat him? Okay. I wonder how many more counted in Trump's career. White nationalists? Seriously. Those guys should be banned. And I got ideas to prevent that. That's why this is one of the many reasons. All this That's why I want to become a politician myself. To fix this. It's not right. It isn't right. All that's going on. I want to do more than just become a politician. I want to become President of the United States. But tell me your thoughts on that, if it's a good idea. Now, some people can't handle it because I'm, you know, I won't say it. But I won't say it. So now for the good news in 2018. But I know one good news. You ready? You ready for this? The Democrats have won back the House. Woo! You should have done on that. Hang on again. Can't have you see that. Let's see how this looks. You ready? Ready? Here's the good news.
It takes a few seconds, so I'll switch this one up. And we'll just say, Mummy talks.
Alex? 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 Hello, you.
This is a miracle rescue, but all 13 members of the soccer team are out of the cave.
He turns into a superhero, set on feeding as many homeless people as possible.
This election, we've seen historic voter turnout.
An all-Asian cast. There's nothing more empowering. Go right up into it.
Difficult life may seem, while there's life, there is hope.
We may have lost people.
They just want to know that someone cares.
But
We got love for you. It's only right. We got to stay together.
So, thank Google. So better thank both Google and Watch Mojo for me providing these videos to you. Credit goes to them. But I believe climate change can be reversed, no matter how bad it seems. Never give up hope. That's what I say. This is what I come for the Paris Agreement. I divide it into 3 phases. Phase 1. Prevent the temperature from going over a certain point. Over a certain point to 1.5 or 2 degrees. phase 2. Once technology is advanced enough and large enough, start the process of sucking the CO2 out of the atmosphere and putting it and lowering the global temperature back down. Phase 3. And final phase is turn the seawater that's already melted back into ice for Antarctica. Hopefully with all that done, climate change will be reversed. I hope anyway. That's my theory. Well, we got 20 minutes until New Year's. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do and wait? Ooh, I know. Let's sing a song. Let's have a song played. Let's play a song. Let's see if I can find a song. Alright, that's not the video. Sorry, that's not the song. Did you find it? Did I find one? My gosh, it's quicker than I thought. I thought it'd be, to be honest, I thought it wouldn't be done for a while. I thought it wouldn't be done for a while. You get the idea, right? This year I learned something new. I learned how to do that. I learned how to snap my fingers. Oh man, my arm hurts. Sorry. Really not fun. Humanity will survive one day. We will. We just need hope. That's all we need. As long as that exists, there's hope for the future. If you want to know more about what I'm trying to do as a politician, you could just, you can ask. I won't give too much secrets away. Just the record, they're mine. Unless someone else has come with an idea. Unless someone else came up with that idea first before me. But that's not easy to prove. And really get into a lot more. No still going to go out and say, you know, it's proven in the history books. That's the proof. That's the one. But they're still, the ideas are presented unless someone did a person that can be proven in the history books, political history. Oh, you actually skipped it. So, so here's the first song. It's by New Radicals, You Get What You Give. The song is You Get What You Give. Artist is by New Radicals. Oh, it's in Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed. Who knew? Who knew? The credit goes to them. Right there. Thank you, New Radicals. Okay, next one is this one. Because we really need heroes. Like me. Like you. I'm so high, I can hear heaven. And Spider-Man. I'm so high, I can hear heaven. Thank you. Thank you.
You work hard, you play hard.
Now, final song before we go to the news. Before we go to the ball drop.
Can be stronger than you thought. Stop. There are a lot of ways to get a DUI, and a lot of ways to go.
A toast
Text a friend, call
a toast.
Cab, share a ride, whatever you choose to do. Go safe
Now
in
it's
California.
Melissa Etheridge, and I Need to Wake Up. It's from the movie An Inconvenient Truth. Thank you, Al Gore.
I've been so still, afraid of crying.
Thank you, Melissa Etheridge.
Have I been careless?
If I need to cut it short, I will.
The distant rumbling. Take me where I am supposed to be. To comprehend the things that I can't see.
On second thought, on second thought, I'll play it after the ball drops. To closing out. Let's get to the ball. Let's get to the ball. Let's get to the channel where the ball drops. Sorry, forgot to switch it. Anyway, the credit for those music go to the actual people who created it, and not me. Sorry, but not me. Sorry, just don't want to get copyright infringement. Please. Okay. Thank you. Let's get to the.
Let's go see Uncle Joe, okay? Say bye, Mommy. Bye, Mommy.
Oh, kitty, digger. Three minutes till the ball drops. Turn it over.
Hey. Like what happened to Trish on the trial. Put Tab into.
Can you turn it over? You have the remote. Yeah. Thank you. Here we go. Rock. You want to see on ABC or somewhere else?
No, this one.
Here it comes.
Right here. Not really.
Checking on the hat or no?
What?
Here comes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Woo-hoo! Happy New Year!
I know he's a goofball.
Yeah, I am.
You're a goofball. Every year you love it though.
Yeah.
It's your deal.
I don't know what my arm hurts, so.
Which one? That one?
Yeah. Hello, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Odie.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was you,
Yeah. Sorry, folks. That's that was me on Instagram.
Where are you?
Right here still.
I can't see you.
Right down here.
I see you now.
Let's hope this year's better than the last 3. They haven't been very. The last 3 haven't been very good years, have they?
Well, why? It hasn't been bad.
What?
Hasn't been bad.
Well, a lot of celebrities, famous celebrities, died in 2016.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I'm going to bed, Jeff.
All right, okay, I'll turn it off for now.
All right. Okay, don't get turned on TV now.
I won't. Let me go to bed.
Take that tree down probably tomorrow.
Don't forget so I can change the sign, so I can update the sign.
All right.
My wish list.
Come on. Kick him off the couch. Come on. See, they came. Good job, Jeff. I love you, honey.
Love you too, Mama.
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Good night. Good night. We gonna watch the movie? Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Alright. Happy New Year! Look at my hat. No. Okay, Mom, good night. Now, I'm gonna soon get ready for bed. Before we close out this video, we're gonna say the song. The final one. You can hear all the fireworks going on. As soon as this video is over, we're ending it. So, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. But until next time, Happy New Year, everybody. Peace. Bye. Happy New Year. Bye.
Have I been sleeping?
Hang on.
I've been so still, afraid of crumbling. Have I been careless, dismissing all the distant rumblings? Take me where I am supposed to be, to comprehend the things that I can't see. 'Cause I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep and I need to wake up now. And as a child, I danced like it was 1999. My dreams
Thank you,
were wild.
Melissa Etheridge.
The promise of this new world would be
Bye, everybody.
mine. Now I am throwing off the carelessness of youth to listen to an inconvenient truth that I need to move. I need to wake up. I need to change. I need to shake up. I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up now. I am not an island. I am not alone. I am my intentions trapped here in this flesh and bone, and I need to move. I need to wake up. I need to change. I need to shake up. I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up
Thank you, Melissa Etheridge. Goodbye. I need to wake up. Bye. Say bye, Digger. Goodbye, everybody.